Podcast, Episode 6. Let's let it burn. That was Weird Al Yankovic? That wasn't a parody song, though, was it?
No. In fact, it was used as the theme song for Talk Soup on E!
Talk Soup.
Talk Soup was kind of a conglomeration. They went over, they said, okay, well, this talk show talked about this, and this talk show talked about this. They had these guests on, this, that, and the other thing. If you want to watch them, go do that. It was like the beginnings of the almost, at your disposal era.
Huh.
I mean, they told you what was going to be on all the talk shows. So on Oprah Today, on Dr. Phil.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of a central hub sort of a thing.
And E!
We kind of work that way for our listeners. Like, I know, like, I've hit dry spells where I'm like, what do I want to look at on the internet? Like, if you listen to our show, like, you're going to have a lot of fucking shit to look at on the internet. Because we just talk about a bunch of shit and point people in those directions. That's kind of what that show was, that you would tell you...
Good Lord, that makes us like the funk.
We're the funk. That funky funk? I got a mangina!
I tell you what, this funker came down one day and had been hanging with Parliament for the longest time.
Dude, how are you killing an impression of Old Greg!
I'm Old Greg! I got a mangina!
Now, a lot of people have seen that Old Greg clip on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. But they with the way people saw it, it was disambiguous from where it came. And a lot of people don't know that the Mighty Boosh, Boosh, is a show on BBC that is really quite a funny ass show. And I like the second season a lot. I mean, that's where Old Greg came out of the second season, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe the third.
No, second season.
Second season. And then the Crack Fox is the other episode.
I believe that's third season.
And there's a clip of the Crack Fox on YouTube as well. But, it's funny, like, I saw the Old Greg and was, like, hanging out with my friends and smoking weed, and we'd be like, I'm Old Greg! Yeah, and it was, like, 5 years later, I was like, oh, shit, that's from, like, a show. And, like, I got into watching the show and watched all the episodes.
And it's hilarious. Noel Fielding and Julian Barrett do that. It was a stage show beforehand, and they took it into, make a sitcom sort of thing out of it. First season is in Zooniverse. Second and third seasons are at the Naboo-Teak, which is a shop owned by Naboo.
Who's a shaman?
Yeah. Oh,
or as we say in America, a shaman.
Yeah, and he gets in a lot of trouble with the shamanic. What, now you got me questioning how I'm supposed to pronounce that word.
Yeah.
So he gets in trouble with the council all the time. And the council is hilarious. If you like Richard Ayoade, I believe is how his name is pronounced. He was on the IT Crowd, I think. He's a British fellow.
That was another show, the IT Crowd?
The IT Crowd was a different show.
And Noel was in that too, right?
Honestly, I've never seen it.
It was a long black-haired guy, Joel?
Noel.
Noel
Fielding.
The other guy...
Julian Barrett.
Julian Barrett is in the IT Crowd.
Yeah, Shrimp Eyes.
Shrimp. Or no, Noel's in the... sorry. Noel's the one with the long, flowing black hair.
Yeah, he's the
glorious nature.
Rich Fulcher's in that.
Okay, have you ever seen this?
Have I ever seen what?
This is a fourth-dimensional cube called a hypercube.
Yeah.
Have you seen a video of this before?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay. I imagine there's probably a lot of people that haven't seen it. It's something else. It's a hypothetical.
Well, it's a two. Okay, now this is what I love about this. Okay, it's a two-dimensional simulation of a three-dimensional representation of a fourth-dimensional object.
Right.
Okay, so think about all those words mixed together, and then
and to actually
move forward.
To kind of conceptualize that, if you were to have a wire frame of a cube, and if you were to hold it up to a light and cast a shadow, you would have a two-dimensional cube, and you could draw that on a piece of paper. What if you go on YouTube and search hypercube and watch a video of it moving, on screen in a three-dimensional representation. It's kind of like a three-dimensional shadow of a four-dimensional shape that you're seeing. You're not really seeing it in its fourth-dimensional state, because if we could live and see in the fourth dimension, all of the points where the edges come together would be at 90 degrees at all points in time relative to one another, if that makes any sense.
If anyone doesn't know, the fourth dimension is time, and it's a funky one. It screws with our heads, and it plays with us all the time. I'm gonna just interject real fast here. My theory on how space-time works, because most people say that space-time is a constant thing. It's interwoven.
Right.
I don't think it's that interwoven. I mean, it is pretty tightly. I mean, they're very well, space and time are pretty close together. But it's like tape on cardboard. Sometimes you get those little bubbles.
Yeah.
Underneath the tape.
Right.
It's kind of a separation between space and time, and that's the way I view space-time. It's not a fabric that is woven, the weaves and the wefts. Is that right? Woven cloth is weave. Yeah, weaves and wefts. It's more like packing tape on cardboard. But
You should probably kill your candle.
Yeah.
Imagine we can hear that on the microphone. It's a form of static. Maybe. I don't know.
we can find out.
We can.
Do you want to test?
Stop it.
I mean, I'm okay. I can stop talking.